All right, Tilman, this is an exciting time to be a Houston Cougar. I know you watched it on TV. What did it mean to you to watch that game unfold and what they did last night? And more importantly, after the game, you saw the emotion of it really hit home with a lot of guys, including Kelvin Sampson.
No, for sure. And you know what's so weird is that I was just a little kid when it was the first game of the century and the first real basketball game with Elvin Hayes. And then, growing up and watching him being a Rocket. And we want to start over on that.
Sure. Okay, I'll start there. All right, Tilman, what's it mean as a Houston Cougar to watch everything unfold last night in Indianapolis? History made, updated. It's been a long time, and you saw the game. You saw the emotion that was really evident when this thing was over from Kelvin, all the players, and the alums.
Well, Houston men's basketball and me go back a long way. And I can remember just being a little kid and watching Elvin Hayes in the game of the century and the first time ever that there had been a college game like that between UCLA and Houston, which I think Houston won 71-69.
Yep.
Is that right?
I think you're right on.
And then, getting to know Elvin and him being part of the Rockets today and just the idea of then watching Phi Slamma Jamma, and I'm still not over that. The guy misses the ball and the missed free throws, and when you saw what happened last night, where all of a sudden they tied it up and we missed a couple of free throws, it was, oh my gosh, is this going to happen again? But
I think the whole city felt the pressure.
No, it was, but we're in the Final Four. Kelvin has done just a remarkable job, and Kelvin and I sat down about 6-7 years ago, and he said, I got to have this practice facility, and we got that done, and then, of course, we got the Fertitta Center done. And, both of them is how you recruit good players. If you don't have great facilities, you're not going to recruit players. But what can you say about Kelvin Sampson? People don't realize how great he's been, that when it's all over with, he's probably going to be one of the 5 winningest coaches in the history of college basketball. Yeah. And we've got this thing going now, and the administration and athletics is such on the same page. And I really think that once you get to this point where you can say, we just went to the Sweet 16, we just went to the Final Four, things are only going to get better for University of Houston athletics.
Quick question. When he was in the process, and I don't have all the facts, but he touched on it a little bit during the week, but I think he was at a breakfast or a lunch with you or whatever, and he said something about, hey, I think we can win a national championship here. Do you remember that conversation?
I totally remember it. We were sitting at my Grotto restaurant right over here for lunch, and we had been promising him the new practice facility, which is now the Guy Lewis practice facility, and that we were going to break ground, and we just didn't have the ability to do it. And I got up out of that meeting, and I went and sat down with our Chancellor Couture and said, we have to break ground on this in the next couple of weeks. We have a permit, and if we can't get this done, we're going to lose Kelvin as our coach, because we told him we were going to do this. And so the practice facility was huge. It's as good, or one of the tops in the country. And then, of course, coming back, and then, I've said, you know what, if you're asking other people to talk the talk and walk the walk, I talk the talk and walk the walk. And now we have the Fertitta Center, and what can I say? Just, I thank them for letting me have the pleasure to be a part of such a fantastic time, and to have that and be chairman of the Board of Regents at the same time when all this wonderful time's going on. I'm so happy for the U of H fans, because they've endured a lot in the last 25 years since we got left out of the Big 12 after the Southwest Conference folded.
Right. I was there with them when they clinched the Elite Eight victory, and you could see it in the eyes of the alums, many that have been around a long time. You saw the emotion. I mean, Karen Sampson was in tears. You saw other alums in tears, because that wait is a long time.
No, it is, and people just don't realize that when you were playing on a weekly basis in like football and basketball, Texas and Oklahoma and Nebraska, and then all of a sudden, not to take any away, these smaller schools in Florida and Mississippi and Alabama, how do your fans get excited? And so it really has been hard. But we made a lot of strides in football, and going to the Peach Bowl and beating Florida State and beating Oklahoma, and I think we're definitely on the right track right now in football, but you know what? We know we're on the right track in basketball right now, and I think it's going to be a great sunny day for athletics for University of Houston and all sports.
It's going to bring back a lot of members of the Southwest Conference on Saturday, the old U of H and Baylor showdown here, huh?
Gosh, I wish that we were playing that Baylor from back then, but you got to give Baylor and their administration and alumni a lot of credit. My good friend Drayton, is a big supporter there. And what they've accomplished in football and basketball and women's basketball and yes, it was a foul last night in the women's game.
Absolutely. I mean, they got right on that thing.
Would she have ever made it? We don't know, but she should have been at the free throw
Absolutely.
line.
I totally agree.
But congratulations to Baylor, and it'll be a lot of fun.
As we wrap it up, when Kelvin was hired, and that was Mac Rhodes, right?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So when this all was transpiring, he was getting back into the college games. Why were you guys convinced, hey, he's ready, he's paid his dues, whatever, that he's going to be a fit for us?
Well, I mean, we can find faults with any company, any basketball coach, any CEO, and he was the right guy. You got to remember, I was still, even though I didn't own the Rockets then, I was still very close to the Rockets and involved. And Kelvin was a coach there, and he just knows basketball, and he knows how to motivate men, and he knows X's and O's, and I think that's why he's so successful, is that he understands all aspects of the game, and he knows what it takes to win, and I mean, I love his style, okay, because this is the way it is, and I'm going to show you how to do this, and if you do it, I'm going to take you to the promised land. Yeah. And that is exactly what he's done with this group of kids. And I mean, he doesn't have any 5-star recruits or 4-star recruits on this team, but he's able to take really good basketball players and take them to the next level. And as a CEO, nobody appreciates that more than me. The greatest thing I can be is what I do is take people to the different level, and he 100% has proven he knows how to do it.
All right, so I know you're going to be there this weekend, and there's so much talk, and there will be all week, the memories of Phi Slamma Jamma, as it should be, because it was such a great run under Coach Lewis. Coach Sampson hit on it too. He said, all kinds of respect for what they did. There's great teams, but he said, we're kind of creating our own identity now with our team. Do you kind of sense where he's coming from on that? That remember the past, but hey, this is the present now.
Phi Slamma Jamma is probably the most, them and the Fab Five from Michigan is probably the well-known nicknames for a group of players in college basketball history. But because you had Hakeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler, who are 2 Hall of Famers known as 2 of the top 50 players of all time. But what Sampson has going on is special, and this is going to be a time of the 2000s, and I hope we continue to be one of the best teams. And people don't realize what he has done. That if you take out his first year, the amount of wins that he has, in the last 3 years, we're the second winningest program in America, only behind Gonzaga in regular season games. Yeah. So people don't realize how great Kelvin has been. And we just renewed his contract again and added a few years, even before this happened. And, he's going to be here for a long time. And we're so excited at the University of Houston.